Welcome to Human Wayfinder Guidance. We're going to do a reading tonight. I'm going to do the pulling live, so you can see the process of lots of different approaches, methodologies. We'll see what comes out. Start with an invocation. Beloved source of all that is the one, thank you for so many blessings in our lives. Thank you for all of the seen and unseen love, support, and guidance. Thank you for connecting directly with us now. Thank you for helping us to see, hear, feel, and know the direct presence, wisdom, and guidance available for us at this time. Clear our hearts and minds and align our conscious thought in perfect divine timing to receive the messages that are available for us now in alignment with our highest good, showing us our path forward, where we are now, where we have been, maybe a little bit more about where we are now, pulling back to see the path in a labyrinth style, seventh house, we're already getting cards coming out. Seventh house relationship, and so this is our Aries acting within our seventh house of relationships. 7 for me right now also means spiritually. So this is about our relationship to our spirituality. This is important. This is big. So apparently the timeline shift. I'm going to take everything really literal and we're going to see where it goes. Apparently the timeline shift is about coming into a relationship with our seventh house, acting something in Aries. I don't fully understand that. Well, and I see the 1, the new beginning. And the 45 adding to 9, and this year of 2025 adds to 9 as well. So yes, this is a completion. Yeah, this is our relationship to Source, to our Creator. Rather than see this as a far-off deity, a far-off, intangible, untouchable thing, we can hold hands with Source, right? We can hold hands. This is the relationship that Source is bringing to us, asking us to have. That taking this timeline split grants us. And or if you are this way, if like this is kind of my natural way of being, that really all of us, this is all of our natural this is what humans are. We are spirit in form. And the long road that we've traveled of separation consciousness, believing, feeling that we are separate from, and all of these constructs that have placed God way out here when God is right in here, holding our hand. Wow, where's the camera? Holding our hand always. This is that love. That love. I actually want to get into, I want to understand, we have Neptune, vision. This Neptune is like the watery, I would say, emotions. So our vision through our emotions is important. Let's see, and I'm going to pull from the other side and get Cancer. What is that? Cancer, immerse. I feel like it's going to take me a little bit to digest that. Yeah, we're getting think for Pallas Athena on the masculine side in the reversed. So taking our thinking offline, this isn't something that we can think our way through. And the Cancer I'm going to just look at the artwork and see what I can glean from that. I see the new moon. Down here is the new moon. And this crab would be kind of in the reverse, coming down to the new moon. It also reminds me of Pluto doth, that it's that kind of inverse. So it's taking that, the doth, so how can I say this briefly? Pluto is the planet of rebirth and works very closely with Chiron, the core wounding. So it's almost like when we invoke Pluto doth, it's like the death, returning something through death, offering it up for transformation into, as above, so below. We're rewriting the rules of the game. Like we're going to look at Hermetic principles, kind of cross that with some, okay, so we could say very simply with the cross, the simple cross, we have the vertical and the horizontal. The true meaning of this is our vertical plane and our horizontal plane, and to be centered on that cross, to be operating from the center of that cross with your intention aligned with balance and giving and receiving, masculine, feminine intention. To be always doing this in whatever fashion, but to come back to intention, so this is the horizontal, the world of form, the physical realm that we live and breathe in, and all of these things exist in. This is the land of the horizontal, the plane, the horizontal plane of physicality, giving, receiving, and tending. To be balanced on this plane is one aspect. The vertical plane, as above, so below. Many religions attempt to understand this through light and dark, but this isn't, there's a reflection of that that's true, light and dark. However, it's really like if we could imagine an infinite vertical column that forever descends into darkness and forever ascends into lightness. And perhaps we could say that at the center of the lightness is source intelligence, which is represented to us today by this card. Source intelligence is at the infinitely long light end of the spectrum of this column that we all exist in. And on the bottom would be simply the edge of existence, farthest away from the light of source. Now, once we get into that darkness, there's been a lot of names associated with the darkness: evil, demons, blah, 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 blah. A lot of things have been that exist within the dark aspects of reality have been demonized and are not as terrible as they're made out to be. So, suffice to say, coming back to this analogy, we're on this infinite column of light and dark, that on one far end is the light of source, on the other far end is the complete absence of source. And we exist, everything exists somewhere along. It's like if you could imagine it also like this being the center of source, and there's actually like millions and millions of columns coming out like in a dandelion puff pattern, that there's actually trillions of columns of light, and they actually wave and undulate in fractal patterns according to the laws of the universe and Fibonacci sequence and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to simplify it into just straight strands. But in reality, they're kind of like weaving all throughout time and space. And this is simply like the construction of the, some people say holographic reality that we live in, but is quite real. I'm quite real. I'm not a light projection on a screen or anything. I'm quite real. This is real. But it just depends on where you're looking at it from. So if you're in spirit, you look and it's a projection. And from within the projection, within the form of reality, these bodies, from within this physical plane, most of us cannot see into the spiritual. That's the unseen, the energetic, all the things that exist that are as real as you and me, but don't operate by the same rules. They're in another dimension. They're in another framework of reality that is unknown to us. It's the unknown, the unseen, the great beyond, the void, all of that. So that exists, that really does exist, and we are on this. You move up and down that column all the time. You're constantly moving. And so this is where the analogy kind of falls apart. And it's more quantum. The quantum mechanics, quantum physics helps us to understand the direction in which it goes. It's more like an entanglement thing. It's not linear. The fabric of space and time is not linear. We in these physical bodies experience a linear progression through time. However, the fabric of space and time is more like this giant web of possibilities, and it's kind of like you blink across your reality is like. And when we hit certain points and certain gateways, certain alignments in life, it could be related to a great many things, such as mass consciousness reaching a certain point of enlightenment that all of a sudden it is much like we can understand a lot of this through like how video games work, that once certain things happen, you unlock another level. And so this is something that humanity has come to, is unlocking another level of existence. And it can be understood within a timeline split, shift. It's a timeline shift. And additionally, the timeline that we have been on was on cycle repeat and was very much controlled in the rules of the game were keeping us on that loop. And so we exited that portion of the game when this timeline shift occurred. We exited that portion of the game, and the rules are changing. And the great thing is, those of us who are ready, an argument could be made that we're all doing this regardless of how conscious or not we are of it. So our choices, thoughts, and intentions are writing our new rules. And it's like there's variations. I'll show you this. There's variations. I'm going to have to turn this camera around so I can I don't think I can do that while it's running. Dang it. I'll try to crane my head around and see. So, Lordy, how am I going to do this? Okay. If we imagine that this is the timeline, coming out this way. This is the big tube timeline coming out. And we're taking a slice, a snapshot in time, which is any given moment. Any given moment in time is a slice of our physicality timeline. Keeping in mind that, let's just stay with this analogy before we get it too expanded. So these cross through, these lines cross through. I think there's something I'm missing here. Whether these are influences, these may be influences, these things that are influencing our reality. This is the thing. This is what astrology attempts to encapsulate. And they inevitably don't have it all right. None of us do. There's truth and distortion everywhere. Truth being the reality of, like, let's say that this rock was designed particularly by Source to express a fox. But there's so much left up to. There's so much left up to interpretation. I feel like I'm falling apart with this one too. Why are my analogies not working right now? Okay, I think we're getting too off track. I really want to explain the distortion though. This is a better way. This is a better way. Distortion is being off the mark. So the center, hitting this point in the center would be absolute truth from the perspective of Source. But each perspective is going to have their own slant into it. And it's kind of like the trajectory that you are already on is going to slant your perception a bit off the mark. So it's not going to be the, put this down. Back over here. Please don't fall. Oh Lordy. I can't imagine that I'm actually going to use this video because it's so messy. We'll see. Lordy. Here I go, scratch my armpits. So, yes. We have a trajectory through that is off-center and includes distortion coming off-center. And distortion would be like, I'm over-explaining. I think I'm just going to back this up.